All right, welcome everyone. Looks like everything is up and running properly. All right, welcome everyone. Looks like everything is up and running properly. There we go. I forgot I had turned volume up on that. Okay. Slight delay here. They did a bunch of updates that I missed. So we'll get that going right now. So they did Elm Creek and Maypool Farm, which I forgot I had both of those selected. International CV series and my bed pack. So I wonder what they changed on the bed pack. Basically, it looks like they just did a little bit to the dump bed. We're loading in now. All right. So I had it all prepped to the point of just loading in, starting the map out. Already had the time turned off. Okay, so this is not my most well-known map because I realistically never really played it. Did some looking around on it, and there's some things I'm going to change right away. So I already know how I want to change certain things around. All right, so that's all done. I don't particularly like this style of bin setup. it was always a big pain in my rear end when I had to load out of these kind of things, and you had to switch over from one bin to the other and all that other stuff. So we're not going to use this bin setup. Throw that down right there. This is going to go here. And if you've watched any of my streams or videos, you know I do not like homes I can't enter, and both of those are sleep triggers. So we'll get rid of those right away. And I'm going to change up our storage situation. And which residence do we want to go with? I do the Barnum frequently in my last couple builds. So I'm wondering if I want to go back to one of my early go-tos. That looks pretty much square to the roadway. You know what? I think we're going to run this guy. Confirm. Yep, that's the back patio. Throw that down right there. Main reason for that is we're going to have a different type of shed. Yeah. Ooh, that's going to bug me. That would have bugged me really bad. That's closer. Yes, it's awfully close to the house. But that's an ease thing also. We need to move that motorcycle. And do some stuff with vehicles. Didn't get rid of this one because, as you see, there's no sleep trigger on that. That's a different type of doghouse. Okay, nice. And the reason I wanted to move that is a particular vehicle shed I want to put in. That works. And I know I forgot my color on the other building, but we'll survive. Okay. So let's go ahead. And that will take care of 95%. Between these two buildings, we should be able to store everything we're going to need to store. So let's look at our equipment. We're going to keep that. We'll keep the bike. It's a type of we're going to get rid of that. And we're going to go with our tried and true, because these fields are pretty darn big. I've got a single job task for this guy. We'll keep him. We'll hold on to the quad track for a little bit. We don't need the conveyor. We don't need that. We're going to hold on to that for at least a little while. We'll hold on to these two. I'm trying to think if I want to go realistic on our capacity of moving things. And I'm thinking no. Yeah, we're not going to go realistic on that. We're not going to keep the little pickup. We don't need that. That Mack truck. Or that. All right. So, with that done, I want to change up our storage set. Welker silo system. Let's see what that is actually capacity wise. And I don't see that system. So I don't know what that would give us for storage. We are going to get rid of these guys. Liquid fertilizer tanks, we'll keep those. Steel fertilizer tanks, we'll keep those. And that got rid, yep, that got rid of all the deco. I'm going to get rid of this. And that looks fairly straight. Yeah, that's pretty straight in there. And we'll overlap it. Yeah, we're going to get rid of the seed setup. Not sure what that's going to give us there. So I'm contemplating putting this here. At the same time, though, we could go with this. Instead, we're going to keep this empty for now. We might put a different barn on that, but if I remember correctly, we own all of this. And I want to put cattle and some other things over here. All right. So let's go with. Ooh, let's see here. What are these? Yeah, more diesel tanks. We're not going to need that. So we've got these two good-sized tractors. Well, we got that tractor. We got rid of... No, we're going to have that case too because I'm going to use it for hoeing fields. First things first, we need to replace the combine. And like I said, we're going unrealistic. Yeah, that's not going to be enough. But that's okay. But I only do 25 meters US. No crop guide on that one. How far did we go? That text. Yeah, we hadn't done it yet. 1, 2, 1, 2. And then this guy. Yes. All right, let's clear our area because that should be about all that can fit. All right. Let's go ahead and get that hoe we were talking about earlier. A lime spreader. We have a fertilizer already. We've got a planter and seeder. We'll run up the plow. Okay. Yeah. Not 100% sure yet how I'm going to store it all yet. I think we're going to put another building in for the implements. All right, so that's there. That's that. We're not going to worry about that wagon until we get cattle. So we're not going to need that trailer. We're going to go unrealistic on these. Boom, 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 boom. Hitch, tipping option. Yep, that's the way I want it. And then we're going to do this guy. Basically the same setup. Whoop. Dolly is the dark blue also. And we're going to go with this guy here. Be nice if there was a different way to go through that. Exactly how I'd have. Only thing I think of is a frame wheel configuration being separate from the sleeper and stuff like that. It's the only way I could see it. I don't know if there's a limit to how these option bars are set up. Okay, that's interesting. Stickers and vinyl, no. Bumpers, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it went one too, more than I wanted. Standard brand hood decal, the arrow. Yes, on around rear view. Old school single round. We're going to go the skirting. A row of lights. Actually, I think I'm going to change up my usual color scheme on this. I'm going to keep the chrome on the visor. Fenders, stickers, brand is going to be in the light blue. Yeah, it shows nice enough. All right. That is our truck. And let's get the area clear. All right, first things first, get inside the cab. All right, we've got visuals. Hitch adjustment, slide that back to about there. And that axle goes up. And that's a good hitch adjustment. Okay, next item up for bid is the pick 'em up truck. I've been doing this guy a lot recently. I think let's look at this one. There's a couple things that I liked. It's less horsepower. But we got that winch built into that bumper on this one. Okay, that doesn't change it. That does. That lifts us a little bit. That goes up a little bit more. That's even more. You know what? I think we're going to run this guy. With the larger fenders. High suspension. Yes on the step. Some tint. That's a little better. LED lights. Now this is probably about the best we can do on that. And we'll do number 2 on that. We'll get about that much width. Diesel. I don't know which chassis we would need for the beds. All right, let's look at what that gives us. And combinations. All right, we've got normal service body. That does not have a fifth wheel attachment. Ooh, well, that's not right. That's not a fifth wheel. That's a gooseneck attachment. And it shouldn't be there. It should be that ball should be about here. Not right. Okay. Rack. Ooh, no rack. Standard hitch. Adjustable hitch. Let's look at and it's still showing as a gooseneck. But yeah, that is not in the right spot. Gooseneck should be directly over where the axle is. But I do prefer hitches to be embedded. Normal body. Okay. Ooh. That one's placed correctly. That's pretty much directly over the axle. What I'm not liking on this is the gooseneck attachments. So change of plans. Let's do the ramp. Drop hitch, adjustable hitch, engine setup. Yes on the strobes, axle dump, windows of tint, no window sticker. We'll keep the grille chrome. Bumper is going to be the dark blue. Guard, dark blue also. Okay, that combinations with this one. Go gooseneck, single fenders, headache rack toolbox. We got 250 liter capacity on this. I think we'll run it. Two-tone. Bumper colors. This. Bed accessories, we'll leave them as is. And that gooseneck with his plate, sustainable. Chassis is the dark blue. Stain, we're going to go the light blue. Okay. So let's get rid of the Chevy. I do like how it sits a little higher. The bumper, some other things, it's just... There's too many things I don't like about this. So you're going away. And we get to goof around and play with the gooseneck. What I mean by that is that tilt is way off. Ramps touch the ground. Ramps are touching the ground. The nice thing with these types of hitches, and that's going to work. Beautiful. They sit higher than the in-bed hitches, and for some reason this gooseneck doesn't like to hook those properly and ride correctly. All right, so this is all done. That's done. That's done. Let's get a couple more tractors because we're going to need some assistance out on the fields. Going to grab this guy. Big tractor, big engine. Yeah, that's so close to being workable. Beacons. Amber. Yes, on the ag frame. All right. We've got that guy. Now, large tractors. We're going to get 2 of these guys. All right, so that's all done. We need to get 2 things in here. And the RAM will take these kind of beds also. All right. And while we're here and down that way, you always want to have a chainsaw. And that just added like another 1,500 gallons of fertilizer that we can use while we're out fertilizing. We've got the space now, so let's get... I did just pick up this mod. It's a little bit less weight, max weight. But I'm kind of liking the look. So let's go ahead and go with this. All right, so I'm going to say we're set up as much as we're going to get set up for today's activities. Nice. There is actually working lights. All right, get rid of the shop space. We'll pick anything else up from the shop. And I hope I didn't forget anything else that I might want to add. Let's... Yeah, I think we're going to be good with storage. So, we'll do a quick tour of these buildings. I like the drive-through, and our semi will fit in there without an issue. A lot of vehicles will fit in there without an issue. I'm not sure yet where I want to set up our header rack. Into everything else like that. So this bay, the American Midwest Maintenance Shop, you have a wash bay through here. You have up to 230 pallets of storage that go up there, which is accessible via that ramp. You got some storage space in here. Room for 3 small tractor, actually the JCB and the 2 Dutzfars can fit in there, and I believe the case will fit in here If not, we've got that other side or the other building. So, like I said, storage is pretty much done. We got some green beans and wheat to harvest. Yeah, this field we have for the cattle. When we eventually get to cattle, we're not going to do that anytime soon. So let us turn time on and start harvest. And what I'm thinking long term, 12 acres there, almost 20 acres right there, 25 acres, 42. I'm thinking field 7 we might buy and make as our grass field, because we are going to need a grass field. Oh, we did forget something. I'll go get that from the dealership while the AI starts to harvest this field. And straw collection. Yep. And what we forgot was a forage wagon. Yep, we never got our forage wagon. Working with, I go 50 US and that. Okay. While we're here, and I'm going to the shop anyways, let's go ahead and pick up our grass mower, because we're going to have some grass we're going to be able to take. We'll use this guy here. Oh, and then also, almost forgot. Yeah, that messed us up a little bit, but we'll survive. I'm just going to put this over here. For now. And let's go into settings and get the settings set up right. Traffic is off. Periodic plowing is on. Automatic engine start, stop, off, 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 off. 2 of those. Be able to turn that. And then we want to be able to have a lot of the same types of contracts. So we're set. Something we haven't done yet, and I think we're going to put some in. our greenhouses. Alright, so we'll start where he did and catch up to him fairly quickly. I like to get the headlands picked up, straw-wise. If we do a greenhouse, when we put the greenhouses in, there's some stuff I'm going to want to do. Not sure what those are. Alright, we'll find out here after this field's harvested if it actually works. I've had a lot of maps that don't give you field stones when you plow the field. And if we don't get field stones, we just return automatic plowing back off again. And I'm going to do the same thing. I go anytime now. Straw from contracts has to be sold or used as straw. We're not going to make silage out of it. That's too easy to make lots of money. So I kind of lean back on that and not make profit off the straw. Because you make more in the straw you get from these big fields than you did running the contract. And that just seems off to me. So what I'm thinking is this back area to have a bunch of greenhouses in it. is my game plan right now. This little grassy area is going to be Greenhouse City. And instant unload. All right, while he's looking at that, okay, path comes. Okay, there's a little bit of a divot right there. All right. So we're talking about greenhouses. And what I'm thinking is lining them up back along here and putting a bunch of them in eventually. Be right back. So what I believe I'm going to do is hold off on the greenhouses until next month. But we are going to put some stuff in. This side, containers. Actually, we've got the fertilizer containers. We've got these two containers in an inconvenient place for us. But we will add this guy. here. And our other containers are all over here. Liquid fertilizer, dry fertilizer. Let's put this guy right here. Eventually, we're going to get these fields over here too. All right, so that's that set up. Let's look at what we have going right now. Field 19 is oats. That's a nice payday. 14 wants some hoeing to be done. Deliver some liquid fertilizer to 11. Let's go ahead and do this. We're going to go ahead and accept this one. I'm going to go ahead and grab that also. It's not all that far away, but I don't want to do that. Let's go check. All right, it does not have it. I can tell already. We're going to want to add this to this guy. And yeah, I did cheese a little bit. There is a shop inside that building. But I just didn't feel like putting it on a tractor, moving it into the building, doing that, and coming back out. I like to RP to a point, but just to a point. All right. So this guy's going to do the hoeing contract. And the hoeing is field 14. I want to try something here. I had a guy, saw a video with a guy doing this. We want to create a job. Field work. To here. And start the job. So we're going to keep an eye on that and see if that actually works. I was not aware of that. And if it works, great. We don't have to babysit our guys between fields. And we'll run over here, grab that, I don't remember what it was. Fertilizer or whatever it is. We're going to deliver up to field 11. Now the downfall is because I have two separate mods giving us extra work. it messes some things up. And I'll talk about that here in a minute. Yeah, I kind of do like that setup there. All right, looks like liquid fertilizer. And we want to layer. Doesn't matter on this stuff. We'll have to come back and check that again with something else. Bales show it the best, which one I want to go with. I want to say it's usually layers the way I want to go. Yep, liquid fertilizer. And I generally do as many contracts as I can this first month because the rest of the time they're not going to line up well. It's like the first month is made, so the contracts work with you and you're more likely to be able to do the stuff with it. Am I at the wrong one? Nope, that's the right one. All right, perfect. That's what I wanted to see. I didn't have to throw it into the actual field. And we'll do this one. See, the special contracts, you'll sometimes get the supply. One brings so much of something to somewhere. It's the same thing as these supply and transport contracts. It kind of bums me out that they duplicate like that, but it happens. Oh yeah, we can load that. Not an issue. Where is... Okay. Not good. I just locked up. Let's try to do this and then go back to the pickup. It looks to me like my game just locked up. Be right back. All right, interesting. Well, we're about to find out how much time I'm going to lose. I am currently did a hard exit, and I'm reloading FS25. So if any of you have ever had this issue, please let me know. And unfortunately, yeah, we went back 15 minutes. So, all right, that building's going away. It doesn't show any sleep triggers, but it just spawned me there when we have sleep trigger in this building. All right. Like I said, we lost 15 minutes there. So we're going to go ahead and start that one again. This one again. The hoeing one hadn't shown up yet. The time is still there. That's there. It's there. The water tank is there. Water transport trailer. Let's grab this guy. Okay. That might have been an issue with that contract that caused it. but we don't have that hoeing contract anymore. Let's go ahead and do the fertilizer again. So what had happened is I could do nothing in the game other than select vehicles. The keyboard wasn't working for anything. My steering wheel controls weren't working for anything, because I do have a steering wheel that I'm trying to get myself to start using again. Escape wouldn't work. Everything like that. Nothing was working on keyboard or my auxiliaries other than the right mouse button to hold up, bring up the vehicle menu. So I could open up the vehicle menu, and that was it. I've never had that one happen before. And I am going to come down and get that water tank here shortly. And I want to put a couple more decorative things out and about. No, it's not the same one, but we'll do this one. And see, like, it's a delivery of wheat. We don't want any of that. And that's the stuff that upsets me. Because in all reality, 6,700, 6,700, that's less than 200 per thousand. And wheat, that's not even paying what's the going rate for wheat right now. So why would we do that contract? So let's go back to the farm. Actually, I think I'm just going to park this guy here for now. Get to this guy. Create a job. Field work. Start that job. And I'm going to hop into this guy. Get our water trailer. Yeah, I gotta go into settings again. There's too big of a dead zone on my wheel. It's driving me nuts. Okay, we'll go back up to him. Oh, I went to the wrong field. Create job. Field work. Start job. I went back to the original field again. My bad. And then we'll take the forage wagon and pick up all this straw. Yeah, I'm not liking this dead zone in the wheel. Let's see here. I've got to go and turn almost past 10 o'clock to be able to get it to start turning. Don't like that at all. It does grab you, but barely. Okay. Once we get this side done, we'll turn the fermenter on, get it started up. And we'll go back to seeing what contracts are out there. All right. And we'll cut it right there. And we'll bump the production to 300%. No deadwood, no fertilizing for us. Square bale twine. That's something we can do. Yeah. And we'll figure out after we get this little bit done, get these 2 passes finished, we'll go do the baling twine. The hoeing contract is being completed, so he's on target. That makes it so much easier. It used to be I just get him, point him in the right direction and say, you know, drive to here. And that's all I used to do. I like being able to tell them to do the job. All right. Now the question is, do we want to do the harvest contract before our own field? Not much left of this one. I'm thinking let's finish this up before we do the baling twine. Actually, yeah, we're gonna do the baling twine. Before we do, let's go here. Controls, devices. All right. Wait a minute. I just deleted that, didn't I? Devices. Actually, controls. All right, we're good there. Apply it. Now we can go back. Let's see how the steering works now. A lot more responsive. I'm liking that. That little bit, that dead zone was just too much for me. 5% was more than I would ever let a vehicle of mine get to before it's at a shop. Or I'm fixing it myself, one or the other. All right, let's see how this loads up. That's the way we want it. Beautiful. And I didn't even pay attention to where this is going. Field 17. Okay. All right, our field is done. It's only 9. Nah, we're going to go over to green beans. After we clean up that one bad starting corner. I don't know why it always seems to have an issue with the starting corners. That is the right field, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay. And he's about halfway done with his hoeing contract. We're going to get this guy staged up right here. $369,000 bushels. Ooh, yuck, 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 yuck. I just saw we have power lines going through this field. I seriously dislike power lines in my fields. So I've got a really, really, really strong compulsion to put that as a grass field. Ooh, we got a bale collect. How many? 96 square bales. Woo-hoo. Baby. Mmm. It's a really good payday on it. Let's go and see if it'll let me do it. All right, that started. We're going to go ahead and start that bale contract. Get this picked up. And I'm really contemplating if we want to get a different trailer. I've had issues with the actual bale trailers not stacking correctly in the valleys. Because that would be the most efficient way to do it. Is actually the semi doing it, because that's, I think, 2 trips with the semi. It's at least 4 with the pickup and gooseneck. Alrighty then. How did that go? They must not have collision on the power poles. Now they don't bother me as much. You didn't like this. All right. Okay, you're going to leave that, aren't you? Yes, you are. Okay, so this is cleared enough that he shouldn't get much more delays. So what I was referring to with the trailers is this right here, double drop B train. The way these have always been done when I was whenever I worked with guys that were loading these is the bottom trays were loaded and then you loaded above. And that's the issue is they want to load the upper deck and then they don't drop down. They'll have one sticking out a little bit that falls down. It just does not like to load correctly. That would be the best trailer for pallet movement. That would probably be the next best. Because that's a 53-foot trailer. Where I prefer to run this guy, but they don't go and extend for bales back to here. Like so. I'm going to go with this because bales would be able to go all the way back, and we're going to run this trailer. Purchase this because with that solid deck, bales could easily go on that. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at how that works. But while we are going, we're going to go ahead and pick this up and the loop around up here. Get all the straw picked up to make it easier for the combine. And we're good. Close you up. Disconnect. All right. Then we had a transport also. All right. Clears, no interference. We got a tractor. But if I remember right, how do I want to do this? Let's go do the tractor first. Actually, I am more curious about a couple other things. So we're going to stop. Actually, let's go ahead and just open this up. Yep, it does show for plowing. I want to ride along with this guy just long enough to confirm whether or not we have field stones. Because I haven't plowed on this map before. We've got field stones. Beautiful. That's what I was wanting to make sure. Because our farm production setup over here will convert those field stones to lime for us. It won't be for this planting season, but we'll have it for future. And now I want to check out the bales. And is it layer that I want? I'm not 100% yet. Let's see. Looks decent. Let's see if it's going to do what I want it to do. 2 more bales will tell us. Is that going to fix our issue? Yes, it did. That is going to be more than I usually get on this trailer. And with us increasing the height, we should get more on, at least one more row on that. At least that's what I'm aiming for. I am not super happy with the top deck, the way it stacked that. I'm hoping for one more layer above this. I don't know if we're going to get one more layer. Nope. Now, if I remember right, these bales come over here. So we ended up with 6. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. $42, $45, $48 bales in one load. Almost are going to be able to do this whole field. If we had the lower deck just a little bit higher, that would have given us one more row up top. So that's something we can go and change in a moment. Okay, so that was 58%. Of the bale contract. Hey, V4, how you doing? Sorry, wasn't looking at the right screen. You still there? Chat's been so quiet, I haven't been looking over there. Yeah, looks like I missed it. Yeah, 2 loads on this truck. We will go back in there and change the bale setup the way I was talking about. Or the parameters, I should say, for auto load. It's not that much of a difference. Ooh, perfect. That couldn't have been any better. Alright, the plow is getting there. After this, we'll go after the broke down tractor. And I'm actually thinking of using the pickup for the broke down tractor. It can handle it. Get that going. Nice. So what is this facility? Oh, it's the farmer's market. New building over here. And let us, because I goofed, let us get back to the farm. Switch out trailers. Actually, first foremost, let's turn these 2 contracts in. Another harvesting contract, beautiful. And we got this hoeing contract we can do. That's the damaged vehicle. That's wheat. We'll go ahead and start that. And the reason for it is our fields aren't going to be ready anytime soon. Let's go ahead and just drop this trailer right there. And we're going to unload the combine. Okay, so plowing, harvesting is fields 3 and 19. 3 and 19. Let's go ahead and do 3 first. And I hope I didn't mess up because I don't remember double checking that stuff. 19 is oats, 3 is canola. Start on that. Take this guy. And we're going to find out how much those bins can hold. Yes, realistically, we should have done something there. You're not going to take green beans from me? That's not nice. Actually, let's check. Because I've never checked this before. Green beans. Oh. It's already at a decent price. Nice. But we're going to go ahead and dump them now. We'll load those up and deliver them at peak profit. And then we're going to go over here. Let's see the field sizes. Well, canola is usually a less of a yield in a crop, but it doesn't matter. We'll do the front one with this crop. And what I think I'm going to do is set this guy up about here. All right, stone picking is field 17. Field work 17, start the job. And then we're going to go to this guy. Start from this far end. Clear this field, then go over to where the combine's working. And then we'll take the pickup over to get the tractor. That happens more than I'd like to admit. If you have the existing buildings from the get-go, they'll track it a lot better. It seems like there's confusion when you go and add, change the buildings around. Lots of green beans that weren't picked up. They're just going to get, ooh. Yeah, we're gonna have to do some we're gonna have to do that plowing ourselves. There goes my frame rate. What happened to my frame rate? Do I got too much stuff going on simultaneously? Well, slowing it down seems to have helped the frame rate a lot. So I guess I was overloading it with stuff going on. Because I'm not seeing a whole lot GPU and CPU side. So we might end up I might end up having to close out the stream because I really don't like the frame rates that we're showing. I'm not seeing any numbers anywhere. I'm not seeing extremely high GPU or CPU temps. And we're going to have to go and empty this out anyways. Because our next area is not our own. And the faster I go, the lower the frame rate goes. But so does when I get around my equipment. Or my buildings. And so what I'm going to do is change up the hoe to a different field. And we're going to field 14. Yeah, I'm going to end the stream here because my frame rates are going way down. And if it gives me issues with me looking at my frame rates this low, ain't no one else going to want to see frame rates this low. So I'm going to finish all these contracts off, check some things out, and go from there. You all have a good day.